The first Friday of May is Space Day. Maine has been celebrating now for 25 years. It was born from a national initiative to get more students interested in STEM careers.
Maine has a deep connection to the cosmos. Just this week, Blue Shift Aerospace in Brunswick took a big step in trying to launch a rocket. It took a few hours to get the conditions just right, but it was a successful rocket engine test. Blue Shift says they are planning on a minute-long test this summer. And Maine is home to several astronauts.
Caribou native Dr. Jessica Meir became an astronaut in 2013. She has spent 205 days in space. Could be the first woman to ever walk on the moon as part of NASA's Artemis program. And York native Chris Cassidy spent 17 years with NASA, logging 378 days in space on the International Space Station. He commanded one of those missions and for a time was head of the astronaut program before returning to space. He retired nearly 2 years ago.
Charles Hobaugh from Bar Harbor made 3 trips to the International Space Station during his career. That added up to about a little over a month of time spent in the stars. And this video you're seeing is from when he visited a school in Lisbon on Maine Space Day in 2002. That brings us to Kenneth Ham. He grew up in New Jersey, but his parents Ed and Marion are from Brunswick. He made several trips to the International Space Station.
And at the end of last year, Artemis 1 orbited the moon, and an important safety feature was made by FMI in Biddeford.
The launch abort system is in case of a first stage failure, so it's a seat belt for the astronauts. You have one solid rocket motor that boosts the capsule away from the boosters, and you have our 8 valves that control the direction of the capsule as it's landing back to safety. So best case scenario, our parts are not in action.
The company also has manufactured heat shields used by NASA on missions like Stardust and Perseverance. And as we mentioned at the top of the segment, today is the 25th anniversary of Maine Space Day.
In Brunswick today, students got to hear from a Mainer who took part in the Teachers in Space program. They also heard from an astronaut. Learn more about all of that coming up on News Center Maine at 5.